Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I'm in Los Angeles, California, and I'm at the Original Mixer. Let me tell you, we're having quite a time. It's over at the Lux in Los Angeles, and Kathleen Tepley invited us out, and my next guest is George. George, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, George, so what brings you to the Mixer today?
Well, we are a new client of Kathleen Tepley in the Los Angeles Consulting Group.
Yeah. So I understand you work FLYT, a founder. Talk to me about it.
So FLYT is a new multi-channel streaming service that we are launching focused on aviation and space.
Wow. So do you come from the streaming or the entertainment?
I have a 30-year background in the media and television business. I've been part of the launch of multiple cable channels.
Wow.
The Golf Channel, Tech TV.
Wow.
I was part of the launch of USSB and DirecTV in this country.
Amazing.
And part of the relaunch of Reels Channel. So
how'd you get the idea for FLYT? Like, where'd that come from?
I've been watching this category for years.
Really?
Because we know what a linear channel is, right?
Yeah.
All right. This is a very large, at some estimates, there are 500 million people around the globe that are interested in one aspect of aviation and space. Yeah. But they don't all watch the same thing. You know, the thing about the Golf Channel is everybody plays that game with the same ball and the same set of clubs.
Of course.
Right? In aviation and space, you have people who love helicopters. You have people who have drones. You have people who are into new space. You have people, there are 12 million people in this country alone who go to air shows every year.
Yeah.
You have to have a dedicated, personalized service. So when they tune in, they get what they're looking for. And so we've been watching it for years, and really with the SaaS-based OTT platforms that are available today commercially, because I'm not a technology guy.
You don't have to be anymore.
I don't have to be anymore.
That's the point.
And so now we can actually execute and get to market.
Yeah. What kind of, I'm just curious, thinking about obviously the model. So is it subscription? Is it advertising-based combination?
Great question. So I think that what's important when you start this is have the low friction point.
For sure.
To get the maximum number of users that can sample us.
Yeah.
So when we start, we'll be 100% AVOD. It'll be advertising supported. We also believe that there will be an opportunity for sponsorship and branded content. There's a lot of endemic advertisers to this industry that don't have an efficient way to reach their audience.
Absolutely.
Because it's so fractionalized.
And once upon a time, it was you just throw money at everybody.
So we will be aggregating. The other part of this is we're what I like to call a mini mass network.
Yeah.
We are creating a mass audience from a bunch of smaller channels.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because when we started Mission Matters, the concept and the idea, I actually host 8 different shows, and they're all different niches. And we built that, and now we have a catalog of over 6,000 interviews, and that's over the last 9 years. This year I'll do over 2,000 interviews. And we're aiming to hit all of these different audiences, and that for our advertisers, for our subscribers, for everything else, it's no longer just a couple of networks. It's like you're fighting for those pockets, and over time you're building that loyalty and trust. And every hour somebody listens or watches FLYT versus something else that was providing maybe general content is a win.
It's a win. And look, I think that and we know from just what Netflix is doing with their beautiful retooling they've just done.
Yeah.
There's something in the industry, I've heard it called content discovery fatigue.
Yeah.
All right? Where you spend 20 minutes.
Everybody's done it. I'm just saying that. I did it last night.
So
I'm hurt.
So the same.
By the time I was done, I didn't want to watch anything.
There you go. Oh. So the point is now we have the tools.
Yeah.
And we have the AI-based tools that are driving the recommendation engines. So the more you watch on FLYT, and the more we learn about you, the more we can provide a personalized service.
What do you think in terms of initial content? Like what kind of things? How do you think you're going to source that? Is it going to be bringing in other catalogs that exist? Is it going to be created in-house combination?
All of it. So
how do you do all of it?
Well, you have to. You don't have a choice.
Okay.
You don't have a choice.
Oh man.
All right. So
you're hurting my head here, George.
So part of it is. One of the things that we have done is we are acquiring this country's premier broadcaster of live live air shows. It's live air show TV.
Okay.
So there's
that infrastructure is there.
And there's a live component.
Yeah, that's a big part.
And there's a sports component because there's air races.
Yes.
And there's drone races. And so we believe that there's a new vertical with one of our channels that is live. Very important.
Yeah.
We will, of course, curate the best of the programming that is out there, and we expect that we will have content providers that we will do a rev share deal, and we'll build a library that way.
For sure.
Then the other thing is we have a whole slate of original content that we'll be producing.
Yeah. Am I thinking like off base when I think of like, and obviously everything's in house with them, but like a Red Bull TV, how whatever they did, whatever they created, I'm soapbox races in Germany from 5-10 years ago are still playing at night.
They're still
good. And people are still watching. And they still catch me sometimes. I'm like, dang it, why am I watching this? Because of content fatigue, George.
And there are things that the public hasn't seen yet.
Yes.
Like short takeoff and landing drag racing.
When
these pilots take off within 10 feet and land within 10 feet.
Wow.
And so part of what we're going to be doing is bringing some of these
that little
new sports.
Addictive like kind of component of like.
Well, you know from your own work that to be successful, you have to become a habit.
Yeah, yeah.
And to become a habit, you have to fill the personal needs of your audience.
For sure. That's awesome. So tell me about where you stand today, like where the network is today, and what should I call it a network? By the way,
we can call it a streaming service.
Where the streaming service starts
it's a streaming
today.
service. Yep. So we have, as I said, we've been developing it for about 3 years.
Yeah.
My partner Craig McCackern and I have put significant dollars in this. We have a small group of friends and family, and we are out now with Kathleen raising our first C round.
Amazing.
And so
awesome.
that is what we are doing, and they're leading the effort in that investment marketing process. And if everything goes according to plan, we'll launch in April of 2026.
That's amazing. And so looking at the launch, and obviously this is going to be, you're still in the middle of your seed round, but to get to that point, that's an accomplishment. This is cool. And you've been following this for the niche and for a bit now, so that's interesting.
Well, look, I also think there's a convergence of several things that also make this the right time. You know, there is, on a global basis, there is renewed interest in aviation and space.
Yeah, for sure.
From obviously from the launches around the world. The streaming, of course, has become the dominant form of TV consumption.
And more accessible.
It's
OTT 10 years ago wasn't what it is now.
Now, and about by one study I saw, 40% of all television viewing is now via streaming in this country. You know, so that's
I never thought about that.
That's the other. So this is how people are consuming. And then the other one is that governments and private sector are investing billions of dollars in new technology, in vertical aircraft, in vertical takeoff aircraft, in air taxis. Yeah. One of our signature programs, we believe, will be our newscast, our daily newscast.
Yeah.
Because that will kind of be the sampler. What is the news of the day in all these different categories? And we believe that's going to be one of our major.
So kind of like if I'm thinking of like a Cheddar TV, not the exact content, of course, but I'm just thinking about their component. That was like their core early on. Early days was like that was their real kind of hook, and then they built from there, did some other things.
Yes.
Oh man, this is exciting! Come on, I'm bringing that. This is why people are tuning in here. We brought you the story. So, last thing I want you to do, George, look into the camera. How do people learn more about FLYT? How do they follow the journey?
Well, you can follow us and follow the dream and join us on FLYT.tv.
Fantastic. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll definitely put the links in the show notes, so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way in your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And George, man, appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having us. Thank you.